Glad to be with you again for another edition of Secrets. I'm Kevin Hart, and what a fun show we have planned for you today.
We're crisscrossing the state from Louisville to Lexington in search of Kentucky's favorite food and the secrets to making it at home. Our journey begins on the Bourbon Trail with my broadcast partner, Tim Laird. He's in Millville. People come to Kentucky from all over the world to take in the sights, sip on our spirits, and savor our incredible cuisine. And there's no better place to do all of that than here in Millville.
We've had Australia and England and then all over the United States. We had Minnesota.
As you travel past world-class horse farms and make your way down McCracken Pike, you find the historic Castle and Key Distillery. And just down from there, right along Glens Creek, you arrive at the Stave.
I love how it's out in nature. You get a real good feel about the beauty of Kentucky.
Authentic Kentucky.
Rebecca Burnworth and her husband built this cozy place that pays tribute to Kentucky in every way possible.
Really making sure that our bourbon collection is getting up there and competing with some of the top bourbon bars in the United States.
There's more than 100 bourbons behind the bar, but that's just the beginning of bourbon's influence here.
From our door handle to our bourbon stave wall, we really tried to infuse that into the architecture as well.
And then there's the food, in which you also find plenty of whiskey flavor.
He does a lot of bourbon sauces and bourbon whipped creams for the dessert.
We are a bourbon bar after all, so.
Jonathan Sanning runs the kitchen at Stave, cranking out all kinds of Kentucky cuisine, and always from scratch. From cornbread to catfish,
The hot chicken,
cheese grits, to grilled cheese with fried green tomatoes,
the Stave burger with the country ham.
country ham and biscuits, to black bean fritters. It's all good.
It just brings me back home every time I eat here.
All of our meats are local.
One of Chef Jonathan's secrets is the Stave's proximity to local farms, which supply most of everything he uses in the kitchen.
There's no lack of fresh ingredients.
There's about a dozen local farms that we work with between meat products and vegetable products and fruit.
The menu changes with the seasons. It's always based on what's fresh from the farm.
Farm to table.
But there's one thing that never changes: the soup of the day.
That's right, the soup of the day is always bourbon. Bourbon on the rocks.
And what goes better with soup than salad? Especially this one that highlights all the flavors of Kentucky's favorite spirit.
Hominy, barley, and rye with dried apricots and dried cherries.
It's called the Bourbon Mash Bill Salad.
So it's built around the idea of a bourbon mash bill.
A mash bill is the mix of grains used to make a particular bourbon, which always includes at least 51% corn. In this case, the chef is using hominy.
It's a corn that has been treated with lye. It's to get that sort of swollen appearance, and then dried back out. So in order to cook it, we use fresh, not canned, so you got to soak it overnight and then boil it for about an hour and a half. So these have already been cooked, and all we're going to do is wake them back up a little bit. Now those are all nice and heated back up. We've got our mix of mirepoix micro vegetables, the carrot, celery micros in there, and then some others just for color. And then we hit it with Bourbon Barrel Foods smoked sea salt.
And there's still one more way to eat your bourbon in this salad. It's also infused in the dressing.
This is our bourbon sorghum vinaigrette. Make that with Old Forester and local sorghum. This is our mash bill salad.
If you're into French dips, you'll love this Stave's Bluegrass version called the Western Kentucky BBQ Dip.
It's good.
It's made with roast beef that's slow smoked and served with braised greens. And in place of the usual au jus that comes with a French dip, this one has a thin barbecue sauce for dipping instead. along with a side of homemade Kentucky baked beans. And if you're a fan of pulled pork, you'll love this one.
It's called the Pig and Pickle. It's sort of our take on a Cuban sandwich.
Chef Jonathan makes that by first toasting a hoagie roll on his flat-top grill. Then he warms up some pulled pork.
This is just smoked pork butt from Stonecross Farms. Hit it with about 6 hours of smoke. We got our pimento cheese, our pimento and beer cheese we make in-house. Cream cheese, cheddar, a little bit of the nutritional yeast. That's our secret to our pimento cheese. And, of course, pimentos.
Then, another local staple.
Just gonna top it with the country ham. A little steam. We got our toasted hoagie bun. This is our Willet whole grain mustard. Take a whole grain mustard, and then to that we add some local sorghum from Woodford County, and bourbon. Just adds a little bit more tang to it. The shaved red onion, and our house dill pickles. So that's our Pig and Pickle. Stonecross Farms smoked pork, our house pimento cheese, some country ham, shaved red onion, pickles, and our Willet bourbon mustard.
Wow! There's so much to love along the Bourbon Trail, and now you can add great food to the list at the Stave in Millville.
Come see us down here in Millville.
Kentucky proud.